All right, so we're going to take a look at a little bit of problem solving here. Let's just kind of see what's happening. When I expand these joints over here, when I expand these joints, there's all kinds of red here. So that tells us there's some conflict, right? If I hold my mouse there long enough, this is angle conflict, and they all kind of say that same thing. This one is a motion link, so I'm going to right click on that and just say edit feature. I'm just going to hit play and see what's going on. All right, so this piece right here is just not working for us at all, is it? It needs to be a rigid constraint onto one of these two pieces. All right, so I'm gonna, before I get rid of this though, I'm gonna look, and it says Rev 9 and Rev 2. So those two revs, they must be on the axles here. One of these must be Rev 2 and Rev 9 maybe, or the other way around. So I want to note that. I'm going to say Rev 9 and Rev 2. I don't want to touch those. Those seem to be right. But if I look over here, I've got Rev 1, and that looks, let's check it out. Yeah, that is showing that the worm gear there, the worm gear is spinning on that axle. We don't want that to happen. We want that to stay locked in place. So I'm going to right click here on Rev 1 and say Edit Joint. And right here it says Revolute. You can click that down arrow and just say Rigid. Okay, and when I'm done there, I'm just going to hit Enter. And that changed that up. Now I know we just made some boo-boos there. It got worse, right? But there's Rev 2. We want to leave that one alone, remember? And we want to say Rev 9's good too. So let's check out this Rev 3. So if I'm looking here, I've got one that's spinning here and another one spinning over there, and I bet you I don't need both of them. Here's Rev 2. I need that one, right? Well, what's this one here? This is Rev 3. Let's just right click on that and delete it. And see what happens. Oh, all those arrows went away, and look at that. This block here just got a little more free, didn't it? So I can do some things with it now. Okay, and what's this rigid 2? I think, or rigid 12, I think I'm going to right click and get rid of that as well. Okay, so now this entire block, I can move it any which way I want to, right? So let's see here. So I'm going to put a constraint on here, and I'm going to say, give me a rigid off of this hole. And let's come over here and get side 2 of this maybe. And now we are going to have to kind of locate this and put it in position. That looks pretty good there. Let's see. Let's rotate that around and see how we look. Yeah, that looks good. All right, so then I'll just hit Enter to make that adjustment. And now, here's that motion link again. Let's right click on that and say Edit Feature. So here's what I've found out on this. That motion link is still trying to reference this piece. So I'm going to right click on the motion link and I'm just going to delete it. All right. Now I'm going to reapply the motion link. So I'm going to go back up here to the symbol and say motion link. I'm going to click that arrow there, right? Just like we did before. And I'm going to click this other arrow here, Rev 9. Okay, and I can hit OK and see it's working now. So we had everything in place. We just had a couple of constraints that were a little bit off. So let's take a look over here now. Now we only see a revolution here, which this Rev 2 ended up being this long axle here, right? And then we see this Rev 9, and that ended up being this axle here. So in here, the worm itself, the worm gear itself, is actually a rigid constraint onto this axle. And this 36 tooth gear here is actually a rigid constraint to this axle. So I think what our problem was is we just had too many revolute joints in there.